Everyone, my name is Winter Green Allen. I use the pronouns she, her, hers, and I'm the Associate Director of the Honors Program as well as the Academic Advisor for the Baruch Scholars here today. I am born and raised in Queens, but today I'm calling in from Long Island, New York. Congratulations on your acceptance to the Baruch College Honors Program as a member of either the Baruch Scholars or Macaulay Honors Program, and we welcome you to the class of 2024. We're excited to meet you and have you join our program. We have an exciting morning arranged for you. Please note we'll have a survey distributed today at the end of orientation. It will be given out by the honors advisors in the last session. So first, wonderful. So it looks like most of our students today are calling in from Queens. Awesome. That was where, again, like I said, I was born and raised. So thank you all for sharing. We also have a lot of students calling in today from Brooklyn and Long Island as well. So wonderful. Now we just have a few more questions that we're going to start with. So if you can tell us a little bit about what you will miss most about high school. And once you're done with that question, our follow-up question is, what are you most looking forward to in college? So for those of you who have just joined us, if you could just answer the two questions you see up on the screen. What will you miss most about high school, and what are you most looking forward to in college? You're going to miss your friends. So hopefully today with orientation, it's the first day of you making some new friends here in our program. Students also, a lot of students said they'll miss their teachers and the familiarity. So 4 years in the same place, hopefully you feel the same way in 4 years when you move on from Baruch. So what are you most looking forward to in college? The big ticket items, we're making new friends. Great, so we'll start that today. New classes, exploring majors and internships, and studying abroad. Awesome, so wonderful. We're gonna talk to you about all of these things today, and we look forward to getting to know you a little bit better.
Hi, everyone. My name is Harmony Osei, and I'm the Assistant Director. I advise a different group of scholars called the Provost Scholars. And welcome to part one of your orientation. Today, you will be learning about requirements. I know you may have a lot of questions about curriculum and what you need to take in your first semester. So you'll be learning a lot about that today, as well as like transfer credits and AP credits, things of that sort. Today is mandatory, and as well as the part two, which will be coming up later in the summer. A great opportunity that you'll have later on today is that you'll get to go into breakout sessions. You will be meeting with your assigned advisor. And the great thing is that you'll also meet students that may be in your first year seminar class, which we'll discuss what that is a little later today. As I mentioned, part two will be during June and July, and this is where you will receive your schedule. You will be given a schedule based on courses that students generally take in their first semester, and you'll be meeting with your advisor one-on-one over the summer so that you can adjust your schedule if needed because of credits that you may have coming in. For part 3, later in the summer, this would be July and August. This is going to be sessions that are encouraged, although they're not completely required, but we encourage you to participate so that you have an opportunity to meet with current students who are very active and engaged on campus and can give you a lot of advice as incoming students. And you'll be able to basically set up some sessions over the summer where you'll ask any questions that you have about getting acclimated and your transition. So these are the 3 parts that we have that planned out for you, and we hope that you are able to learn a lot of information today.
Thank you, Harmony. Hello, everyone. My name is Eileen Nakak. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I am one of the Macaulay advisors at Baruch College. I'm calling in from Brooklyn, New York today, and I'm going to be speaking about all things Baruch College curriculum. So if you haven't done so already, please take out a piece of paper and pen or open up a Word doc or some other way to take notes and to jot down any questions or concerns that you have. That way you have an opportunity to ask those questions later on. That said, I know a lot of you have already done your research on Baruch College and what we have to offer. So I'm actually going to ask all of you the very first question, which is, what 3 schools do we have here at Baruch College? If you feel like you know the answer, go ahead and type that into the chat. If you know all 3 schools, go ahead and type out all 3 schools. If you just know one of them, go ahead and type that into the chat. Or if you want to just take a guess as to what schools we offer at Baruch College. All right, thank you. We do have the Wiseman School of Arts and Sciences. We have the Zicklin School of Business. And then you're so close. We have the Marks School. Yes, the Marks School of Public and International Affairs. Thanks so much. So those are the 3 schools that we have at Baruch College. If you would like to go to the Zicklin School of Business, you'll be graduating with your Bachelor of Business Administration degree, your BBA degree. You'll be completing a total of 124 credits. Of those 124 credits, 62 of them will need to be in the liberal arts. If you're interested in going into the Wiseman School of Arts and Sciences, you'll be completing your Bachelor of Arts degree, your BA degree. You'll be completing a total of 120 credits. Of those 120 credits, 90 of them will be in the liberal arts. If you're interested in going into the Marks School of Public and International Affairs, you'll be earning your Bachelor of Science degree, your BS degree. You'll be completing a total of 120 credits, and of those 120 credits, 57 of them will be in the liberal arts. But now, regardless of what school you go into, all Baruch students are required to complete the Pathways curriculum. And Pathways is made up of 3 parts: the required core, the flexible core, and the college option. And you might recognize this pathway sheet from the orientation packets that were emailed out to you all. So you'll still have access to this information even after orientation. This is also being recorded, so you'll have access to the orientation presentation later today as well. But let's go over the curriculum together. So the required core is made up of English, math, and a little bit of science. So all Baruch students must complete English 2100 and English 2150. The math you complete at Baruch will be heavily dependent on what school you go into and what your major is within that school. For example, all Zicklin students must complete calculus, which is Math 2205, Math 2207, or Math 2610. All of my Marks students will need to complete at least pre-calculus, which is Math 2003 or Math 2009. And then for my liberal arts students, it really depends on what your major is, but for the most part, minimally required of you is Math 2140 or Math 2160. And then the life and physical sciences is 1/2 of your science requirement. So you'll notice that these labs are tied to lecture courses that are taken together in the same semester as co-requisites to one another. If you're interested in the sciences and you want to be a bio major, you should take a look at the STEM variant courses and chat with your advisor about how to enroll into these courses instead. From there, let's chat more about the flexible core. So I just want to mention, so life and physical sciences is your lab. The corresponding lecture that you take fulfills a different requirement called scientific world at Baruch. In order to fulfill the flexible core, you choose one course from each of these categories while being mindful of not overlapping in field or discipline. And you know what courses fall within the same field or discipline because they're listed for you down here. In order to fulfill the flexible elective, you take an additional course listed in one of these other boxes while following the same rule of no overlap in field or discipline. What that means is, let's say I take History 1003 to fulfill World Cultures and Global Issues. I cannot take another history course to fulfill US experience and its diversity. I must take a different course. Similarly, if I take political science to fulfill World Cultures and Global Issues, I cannot take another political science course, nor can I take a public affairs course, because public affairs and political science are considered to fall within the same field or discipline. And if this all sounds like a lot of information, your advisor is here to work with you to make sure you're fulfilling all of your requirements throughout your years at Baruch College. But just to run through a quick example, let's say you take Anthropology 1001 to fulfill World Cultures and Global Issues. Then perhaps you take Public Affairs to fulfill the next course requirement. And then perhaps you take an art history course, and then a philosophy course, and then maybe you take Bio 1011L for Scientific World, which of course means you must also take Bio 1012 to fulfill Life and Physical Sciences together in the same semester, because they're co-requisites to one another. And then for your elective, maybe you take History 1005. And this way, there's no overlap in field or discipline to fulfill your flexible core courses. Now, I know I've been saying no overlap like multiple times, but there is one exception to the rule. Students may use 2 courses from the same field of study within the flexible core if and only if both courses transfer to Baruch. I see a comment in the chat. If there's a class that fulfills 2 requirements, can it be used for both? It can only fulfill 1 requirement. So the only exception to that rule is if students transfer in both courses. So I know a lot of you have AP credit. So if let's say you have AP credit for History 1003 and AP credit for History 1005, then and only then can you use both of these courses, even though there's overlap, to fulfill multiple requirements. But if you only transfer in one, you have to follow the same rule of no overlap in field or discipline to fulfill multiple requirements. The last piece of the college of the Pathways curriculum is the college option. For my Baruch scholars, you'll be completing English 2800 or English 2850, a Great Works of Literature course, and a liberal arts minor, which is made up of 2 3,000 level courses and a 4,000 level capstone. And you'll work with your advisor to figure out which liberal arts minor works best for you. For my Macaulay scholars, you'll be completing the New York City Studies minor in order to fulfill the college option. It is made up of these 4 Macaulay seminar courses, which must be taken every semester in order for your first 4 semesters. And so you'll see in your very first semester schedule, the arts in New York will already be built in. IDC 1001 honors will already be there for you. So that's Pathways. And so now I'm going to talk about each of the requirements to get into the individual schools at Baruch. So for my Zicklin students, you'll be completing these 10 pre-business courses: communications, English, calculus, micro and macroeconomics, business law, computer information systems, accounting, and business statistics. In order to get into Zicklin, you'll also need at least 45 credits, an overall cumulative Baruch GPA of a 2.25, and an average pre-business GPA of a 2.25. Once you're accepted into the Zicklin School of Business, then you'll be able to take 3,000 level business courses, and all business students are expected to complete the BBA core, which is made up of this business course, an additional accounting course, finance, some management, marketing, and business capstone, BPL 5100 honors. For my Wiseman students, you'll have to complete communications and 2 semesters of the same language. If you're already familiar with a language, you should consult the Department of Modern Languages in order to determine what your placement should be in that level of language. Otherwise, you can start with the intro level. Students going into Wiseman don't need to be officially accepted into Wiseman in order to take 3,000 level liberal arts courses. You just need to meet the individual requirements of that 3000 level course. For my students interested in the Mark School of Public and International Affairs, you need to take at least business statistics or social statistics and complete microeconomics in order to be officially accepted into the Mark School. I know that was a lot of information. I just have a few more notes. So stick with me. 60% of your major needs to be taken in residence at Baruch College. So you can't just transfer in your whole major. At least 60% of the courses you take for your major need to be taken at Baruch. Double majors are only allowed in the Wiseman School of Arts and Sciences. You cannot double major in Zicklin, and you cannot double major across schools. You also cannot double dip courses. So if I'm taking a course for my major, I can only use that course for my major. I can't use that course to fulfill a different requirement. Finally, capstones need to be taken in residence at Baruch College. And while we're on the note of capstones, all honors students are expected to complete an honors capstone. For my business students, I already mentioned it, BPL 5100 honors. For my Wiseman students, you'll complete IDC 4050 honors or write a thesis for your major. For my public affairs students, you'll take PAF 4401 honors or write a thesis for your major. You're expected to complete 10 honors courses at Baruch. You're expected to maintain a 3.3 GPA in your first 3 semesters and a 3.5 GPA thereafter. You're expected to remain a full-time student. So that means at least taking 12 credits every semester. If for any reason you have to drop below 12 credits, make sure to chat with your advisor. Now I know I mentioned English 2800 and 2850 for my Baruch scholars as a part of the college option, but for my Macaulay students, it's also required of you in order to fulfill your final honors academic requirement. So those are all of the notes I have for you today. I hope you jotted down some of your questions or concerns, and this is not the last time you'll hear this information. And those are all of the notes I have for you today. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Eileen. And so we just kind of took a big, broad view of what the next several years are going to look like. And so now I'd like to zoom in a little bit and look at your schedule for this upcoming semester. So at Baruch, we use what we call block schedules. And so essentially what this means is you will be taking the majority of your classes with the same students in each class. This allows for more opportunities to build a strong support network, including friendships, study groups, and peers with similar timelines and shared experiences. Research shows block schedules can be a helpful tool for first-year students as they adjust to college. This is a sample of one of the block schedules that some of you might have this upcoming fall. Before I get into that, I realized I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Troy Heffron. I am an honors advisor as well for the Macaulay students, and I'm calling in from Brooklyn. I use he, him, his pronouns. Okay, so your schedule, the interesting stuff that you are here to learn a little bit about. So this fall, many of you will have, again, these block schedules, and this is one example, Business 1011 honors. This is Business Fundamentals, the Contemporary Business Landscape. So definitely a really interesting class for this particular point in time as the business environment is shifting all around us. And you'll notice this is also an honors class, so taking care of one of those 10 honors course requirements that you have. Next, Math 2003, Pre-Calculus and Elements of Calculus. Depending on which school you enter, this may meet the mathematical and quantitative reasoning core requirement, but we'll talk more about your math placements shortly. Com 1010, or Speech Communication. This course provides training and practice in the preparation and delivery of original speeches. This course is required for all undergraduate degrees granted by Baruch, and is also a great course to start building those speech communication skills, which you'll need throughout your time at Baruch. English 2100 is Writing 1. This is an intensive course introducing students to writing as a means of discovery. Writing skills are important to be developed for many courses and careers, and this is a great requirement to knock off in your first semester, while also building those skills that will help you as you move forward at Baruch. For our Macaulay students, we have IDC 1001H. This is the arts in New York. During this seminar, students receive their college cultural passport, which introduces them to the study of related cultural events and performances and art venues all across the city of New York. For our Baruch scholars, Baruch Honors Scholars, you will have a different course in this place. Then lastly, FYS 1000. So this is also a required course for all Baruch students, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But as you see, most of these courses are overall requirements and key prerequisites for building, moving into classes more specific toward your major in following semesters. So FYS 1000, let's see if we can, it's a great course designed to build students for collegiate preparedness. So the seminar is designed to prepare new students to make that pivotal transition into college by providing the necessary tools in order to succeed here at Baruch College. Coursework is designed, I'm seeing a lot of chat, so I'm just going to pause here. Okay. So coursework is designed to prepare students for this transition. It's taught by your advisor and peer mentor. I might be a little biased in saying I think it's a great class because as an advisor, I'll be one of the teachers of the course in the fall. But the advisor serves throughout your time at Baruch as a key resource and hub for your questions. I tell my advisees that I promise I don't have all the answers, but I will work alongside you to help you find the answers that you're looking for. Peer mentors are your peers, they're upper class students who have successfully done the things that you are here to do, whether it's being involved on campus, internships, studying abroad, academic success, and career preparation. They're already doing these things or know people who are doing the specific things that you might be looking to do as well. In first year seminar, we'll also review honors requirements. We just had a little overview from Eileen. There can be a lot, but we'll continue to review those and make sure that we understand them and know how to go about them. We also have our peer mentors are experts on opportunities to become involved on campus and off. And so co-curricular engagement is a key part of your collegiate experience. We'll also have visitors from campus offices and share how they support students, whether it's study abroad, health and wellness, or career development services. There are all sorts of campus resources that first year seminar is geared to introduce you to. So that is it for first year seminar, which again is a key part of your greater registration block.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Tony Bowles. I'm calling from Harlem, New York. My pronouns are he, him, his. And thank you so much for joining us and being trailblazers for our first virtual orientation. So as Troy and Eileen mentioned, you will be placed in a block schedule. Also, as we mentioned, you will have the opportunity to meet one-on-one with your advisor. During this meeting, I've seen some of the questions in the chat. Students have been asking, oh, do we get to make our own schedules? The first round is on us, as I like to say, in terms of registration. However, you will be meeting with us for your first 4 semesters, which I think is a uniquely collaborative experience with an advisor or student to help you get the classes that you need. Our wonderful directors made a quote famous, "We will work with you to get you the classes that you need," and that is absolutely true. Baruch's curriculum can be a bit complex in terms of the major, the language requirements, the pathway requirements, so it is our responsibility and obligation to you to make sure that you understand this, to make sure that you have a schedule that works for you, while also fulfilling the requirements of your major, of Macaulay. So we definitely want to make sure that we are doing our best to accommodate you and also to answer any questions. So we are going to make ourselves available from now until mid-July. So you will have an opportunity to meet with your advisor, to work with any questions that you may have about this schedule, or any other question that you may have about the fall 2020 semester. Also, some of the other objectives during these registration appointments is just to make sure that you kind of understand. It is a lot of information, and as Eileen mentioned, we will also be going over this during first year seminar, during one-on-one advisement appointments, but it's the goal during registration is to make sure that, you know, we're reviewing your prerequisites for our Zicklin students, making sure that you are you know, you're making sure that you're getting your pre-business classes completed, your major requirements, pathways. So we definitely want to make sure that we are working with you to make sure that you understand the curriculum, making sure that, you know, we are following the rules of the 15 credits, but also if you go below 12 credits, the process of filing for part-time status, making sure that you're not enrolling in any evening classes for your first semester, because we don't want to conflict with the classroom activity for your first exciting IDC course, and no classes during club hours, because as much as Baruch is a commuter campus, we want to encourage students to get involved. Also, we want to make sure that you are getting comfortable with degree works, so that way you are taking some ownership of your own course tracking and audit, and making sure that you can see for yourself. And when we do meet for your registration appointment, it can be a more collaborative experience. Also in the chat, I saw questions about how many AP scores does Baruch allow. Currently, right now, we have opened the floodgates, so now we have an unlimited amount of AP scores that we are able to accept. However, I want to just make sure that we are on the same page. So if a student, you know, is able to have their schedule adjusted, there are several ways how that can occur. One is AP scores. Second is College Now, or your college transcript from any college credit that you took at another institution or university. So for AP score, so as Troy mentioned, students usually are placed into English 2100. But let's say you have a score, an AP score of a 4 to 5 in AP English composition. During our registration appointment with your advisor, we would then work with the registrar to do what is called a swap, and we will swap you out of English 2100 and place you into English 2150. However, it is extremely, extremely important in terms of submission of your AP scores and your College Now and transcripts. So first, for AP scores, if you received a 3 on anything in your AP scores, that would transfer to Baruch as a liberal art credit. It's not a course equivalent. If you get a 4 or 5, that is when we will work with you to do what is called the swapping of the courses. But it's up to you to make sure that you submit to us the scores twice. First being on College Board using Baruch's code 2034. It's important that you write this down. Also, we'll be sending this information out in a follow-up email today. Also, during the registration appointment, it is best for you to submit an electronic copy to your advisor, so that way we can forward it to the registrar to expedite this schedule change for you. That schedule change is only going to stick if you submit the AP scores via College Board. If the registrar office does not receive it, we would not be able to honor that. You will be placed back into English 2100, for example, as opposed to being in English 2150. So it's very important that you submit the scores twice. Also, due to COVID-19, submitting your College Now or college transcript credits, you can email an official PDF copy to the email address freshmancreditevaluation@baruch.cuny.edu. And again, this information will be sent to you via email for your records. So just to wrap up, we are going to work with you to get you the classes that you need. We are going to be available for you during the summer and 30-minute appointments. We are definitely going to make sure that we accommodate your AP scores should they be a 4 or a 5, and we can swap. But I just have to stress again, please make sure that you submit your scores twice, one to College Board and then one to your advisor. And we look forward, all of the advisors look forward today answering any follow-up questions in the breakout rooms.
Thank you, Tony. So I'm going to go over some of the next steps that we have. So the first step is for you to meet with your assigned honors advisor. As you heard a little bit earlier, that's going to be part 2 of orientation, the opportunity for you to meet one-on-one with your advisor to go over your schedule and to make any changes if necessary. So that brings me to my next step, to check your email. So today you should be receiving a follow-up email with a little bit more information, including the link to today's orientation that might help answer some questions that you might have left over from today. So make sure that you're checking your email. Here at the bottom, you see virtual hangouts that we're going to have planned for the summer. So today you're going to meet the peer mentors that we have. Troy mentioned our first year seminar and the fact that you'll be placed in some learning communities in the fall. Your peer mentor will be with you every week during freshman seminar, so you'll get a chance to spend some time and learn a little bit more about them. So to jumpstart that, we have our peer mentors working on virtual hangout, so there'll be opportunities for you to meet them. We encourage you to not only meet your assigned peer mentor, but also some of the other peer mentors. They're all upperclassmen and they've had experiences on campus, and that'll be an invaluable resource to you as you continue on your journey here at Baruch. So look out for those. Those will be followed up in an email to you at a later date. So continuing on with next steps, Macaulay's orientation is going to be held from August 16th to August 19th. Now that's going to be mandatory for all Macaulay students, so look out for information about that as well. It's going to be virtual since all of our events this summer are going to be virtual, so Macaulay will reach out to Macaulay students specifically with more information on how to register and how to successfully attend orientation. Baruch Beginnings, this is for both groups of students. So our convocation is going to be held on Tuesday, August 25th, and that's the day before the first day of fall 2020 classes. That also marks the first day of first year seminar, so that'll be a chance for you to meet with your learning community group, with your honors advisor, and also see your peer mentor. We're very lucky that we have a first year text, so students will have an opportunity to read the same text and start off the semester having a similar conversation about that text. So it hasn't been decided as of yet, but please look out for information about the first year text. One great thing that Baruch does is it brings the author to convocation. So you have a chance to not only read a book together and have that shared experience, but also the opportunity to meet with the author of the book and hear a little bit more about their motivation and some of their experiences with writing the book. So keep an eye out for more information on all of these things via email. Paperwork that we have required. So very briefly, we need for all of our honor students to file their FAFSA and TAP each year. This ensures that your scholarship gets to post without any problems or complications. It's available October of each year. And at this point, all students should have submitted their FAFSA with Baruch College listed as one of the colleges. For all of our students who live in New York State or have New York State residency, you should also be completing a TAP application as well. Immunization records also need to be submitted. So there is an email address here on file where you can send your immunization records. In addition, your proof of high school graduation needs to be sent to the Office of Admissions. So once your final transcripts are completed, your schools will, you'll need to make sure that your schools send the information to our admissions office to confirm that you have indeed graduated. One last point I wanted to mention that we are in the midst of planning a parent orientation. So you can also let your parents know that sometime in either late June or early July, we're working to have a separate orientation for parents, families, and friends. And this would be an opportunity for them to learn a little bit more about the resources available to you as a Baruch student, and also ways that they might be able to support you as you continue on with your undergraduate career with us.